Get your business news now with Rupiah Madzena, who joins us once more. Hi, Rupiah. So this is an interesting one, that insurance claims are going up because of load shedding, but not just the appliances that just melt down after a while, but also because of crime.
That's right, Sally. Criminals have become extremely opportunistic because of all the darkness. And what we're talking about here is that short-term insurance claims have increased recently. This as a result of the constant power cuts and the surges that they cause. Now, power surges can cause damage or completely destroy household electronics. And in the current economic climate, they are not easily replaceable. Philippa Wild, Head of Commercial Underwriting at Santam, joins me now to unpack these developments further. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, Philippa. Maybe just give us some details into how much of an increase the sector is seeing when it comes to claims from people who have been terribly affected by the blackouts.
Thank you and good evening. Yes, it has been quite a dilemma for short-term insurance companies. Over the last 3 years, we've seen the experience from power surge claims effectively doubling. Which obviously is a cause for concern because that increases the cost of insurance ultimately for the consumer. And it really is about the inconsistency in the supply, not so much the on and off. Devices are meant to be switched on and off, but it's the volatility in the voltage coming through. So the surges and the dips that causes the impact on the electronic mechanisms within devices that can't really cope with sort of that volatility of supply.
I'm glad you bring up the issue of the costs and how it filters down to the end user. Is this a conversation the industry is having into how much of an increase a client or a client would have to face given the increased claiming and just the kind of environment we're currently living in?
So the industry as a whole obviously cannot collude in terms of pricing, but the industry is impacted. So individually, insurers are looking at their portfolios. I mean, our job is to provide cover and to help clients in need when these kind of things happen. So what we're trying to do is, yes, there's this increase in cost associated with the clients, but we also try to make it more visible. Where previously on our policies, you would have the cover automatically included in part of the overall premium of your contents or building. We're now extracting that so the client can see exactly how much it costs. They can choose to elect to how much cover they want, whether they want to reduce it or not. And then also, I think quite importantly, with regards to the excess structures changing, quite a couple, we certainly on the personal line side are increasing excesses, and it's to help the client sort of avoid the smaller claims and give them advice on risk management and things that they can do to really avoid the unnecessary claims by just sort of basic safety and risk management with regards to power surge claims.
Okay, cool. So you can't take us through a full policy document when it comes to claiming for a device that has been impacted by the blackouts or has stolen as a result of a break-in. But what are some of the main things you look at when a person comes and makes a claim that they were affected by the blackouts? And when this happens, how do you prevent instances of fraud in that the person making the claim probably or could have had the device ruined before the load shedding?
Yeah, that is a very important point, and it's unfortunate that there's opportunistic behavior because it really impacts every single one of us as consumers. So we work hard at trying to avoid that. So one of the easiest ways is to implement an excess as such, as I said, because it avoids the small claims and the opportunistic sort of experience. Having said that, when a claim happens, we would go in. Depending on the nature of the claim and how it's happened, and assess whether it is maintenance, just general maintenance, or an old device, or it's broken from some other reason other than power surge. And that obviously costs more money in terms of the assessors that go out to the client's premises and so forth. But where the claim justifies it, we do it so that we try and protect the portfolio and the clients who are not claiming and the other clients that we don't pay for those kind of claims.
How would an insurer like yourselves approach a situation where there was load shedding and the alarm system battery dies and so it's not working at a time of a break-in, for example? How does the insurance company navigate that? Because many policies have indicated that alarm systems have to be working at a time of an unfortunate criminal incident.
So there are terms and conditions associated to a policy, which clearly state what is necessary. Some policies will, well, as a minimum, there'll be like burglar bars, security requirements that are non-electric in nature. And if you've got those and those are the terms and you comply with those, then you're fine. However, if you have committed to having a working alarm system in place, then that's what has to be in place according to the terms of the contract. So with the load shedding, what's critical for clients with those kind of clauses is that they do have backup power for their alarm systems. Generally, alarm systems come with the battery second battery. It's important to make sure those are fully functional. That potentially you have uninterrupted power supply linked to those, but that backup battery is really critical. So when load shedding happens for short periods of time, it's the backup will activate and the alarm will sort of off and the company will come out in those instances.
And how much of an increase in break-ins have we seen over this recent period, Philippa? Has it been something of great concern to you all?
It is increasing. We're keeping a close eye on it. We also looking at thefts of vehicles. That's also coming in, from locked garages and so forth. That's a secondary part. So it is increasing, and like I say, there's lots of things happening in the industry at the moment. With experience with supply chains and those kind of things, which also causes the average cost of claim to increase. So we're keeping a close eye on monitoring it and trying to assist clients in ways to better risk manage.
Thank you very much for those insights. Philippa Wild, Head of Commercial Underwriting at Santam, joining us this evening.